Martin K, and today is another episode of News on the Spectrum. That's right. What I was doing this weekend? Well, this weekend on Friday, I had the open mic. I was testing some jokes. Recently, I've been in Paris, France. Therefore, I had some material about the travels. And on Saturday, I had my own show. That's right. I was performing in front of mine, Bas, from France. We had a double show, half an hour each. And the show went well. There was people inside. They were laughing. We were chatting. And then obviously after the show, we had a couple of beers, and I played poker for the second time in my life. Of course, I lost because you cannot be good at something if you do it twice. What else? What else? And that was about it. And because of this poker and bit of drinking, of course, I'm a bit tired today. Therefore, I'm sorry if I'm gonna sound like that. Okay, the episode today gonna be about Cuba, Cuba, Cuba. What do I know about Cuba? Cuba is an island in the Atlantic Ocean. Near Caribbean Sea. The capital is Havana. In 66, I think, or 64, or 63. No, 63, I think there was a Cuban Missile Crisis. That's right. The Russians put some rockets and to target United States, and United States got angry, and apparently it was close to war, but thankfully nothing happened. You guys are known for having this dude named Fidel Castro in power. The guy died. Nowadays, I think his brother now is a dictator. It's Raul Castro, I guess. When I was looking for the videos from Cuba to see what's what, I've seen you have the most annoying travel tourists ever because all of them are sex tourists. Yeah, they are sex tourists. They're always like, oh, no, look, I came here just to travel, and you could see the boner from the video. No, fuck them. I hate sex tourists, to be honest. What else do I know about Cuba? You guys are good at boxing, at least used to be. I know that for a fact because I do follow boxing. I love boxing. And basically because of that, I know a bit about Cuba. What else? Your main export is cigars, rum, probably sugar plant. Sugar plant. I think brown sugar is coming from Cuba. Brown sugar in the meaning of brown sugar, not the drug, of course. And your biggest invention is Mark Cuban. That's right. You created a whole character named Mark Cuban who became a billionaire, and he's doing stuff. He's investing into sports. He's in TV. Actually, I don't know what Mark Cuban does, but I think he's coming from Cuba, as the last name states. Okay, let's go with the news. All the news are coming from Associated Press. And let's start. In Cuba, trend seen away from eccentric names. Ooh, eccentric names. Yanitza Garcia spent 3 decades correcting people on the pronunciation and spelling of her first name. Sucks to be you. So when her firstborn came into the world 3 years ago, Garcia decided to save her daughter a lifetime grief by choosing a simple name that everybody knows and which flows off the tongue, Olivia. What I liked about Olivia is precisely that it wouldn't be bothered by her, right? And good mother. Garcia, 30-year-old old specialist in foreign languages, said with love, "It works both Spanish and English, and nobody ever misspelled it." Garcia is a part of Cuba's so-called Generation Y, Generation Y. The thousand upon thousand islanders born during the Cold War whose parents turned tradition on its ear by giving them invented monikers inspired by Russian names like Yevgeny, Yuri, or Yulia. It would be kind of hilarious to meet someone named Yevgeny Garcia. Yevgeny Garcia, alcoholic, but he only drinks rum. The phenomenon was so prevalent that dissident writer Ioannis Sanchez chose Generation Y as the title of her well-known blog. Her counterpart on the cyber ideological Battlefield is a pro-government blogger and tweeter who used a handle Yohandri Fontana. Yohandri. So it's Andri, I guess. Why the fuck you're a Okay, you probably have to be a pro-government blogger if your country is a dictatorship, unfortunately. I wish you all the best, guys, by the way. More than 2 decades after the fall of the Iron Curtain, Cubans are increasingly returning to more traditional handles for their kids, saying they believe it will better suit them personally and professionally when they grow up. Yes, you are right. Because if you meet someone with Japanese first name and French last one, you kind of figure out what's the deal. What do you mean your name is Takeshi Montblanc? Well, where are you coming from? Oh, I'm actually from UK. More and more names like Maria Alejandra are replacing the name like Yolesi, Yuneski, Yadinis, Yika, Ilyanis, Yonersi. What? All of them are Y. Yusel, Yoladi, Yudaisi, Yamilka. So I guess like Emilia. The white thing was never. Was like a fever, a boom. It was about doing something different from the monotony of Pedros and Rauls. In Poland, I think we have the same thing. Like at a certain point, we have a lot of Brians and Kevins, children named Brian and Kevin. And by the way, just give you an insight, if if someone have a kid named Brian, usually not good people. Maybe not good people, but let's just say they are not very into education. Because also people call their dogs Brian. Social linguists at Miami Days, but now that time's past, is tendency to recover traditional names. Good, go back to that. So they're naming them after family members or like church names, this kind of stuff. It was like an eccentric moniker. For instance, at Uva de Aragorn, the retired Cuban American academic, the Aragorn own name was inspired by her grandfather, who recalled family friend, and she also recalled a family friend named Oil Day. Oil Day. After the English word holiday. God damn, do you really want your kid to struggle at school? Just imagine how brutal the kids are in general. And then you also have a fucking some weird ass name. They're gonna destroy you. After the revolution, self-declaration is official atheist state. People stop baptizing children. Invention like Vico Handry began creeping into state birth registry, as did names like Dimer, a combination of Daniel and Mercedes. Or backwards, like Iram instead of Maria. Yeah, it was a lot of playing, I see. Okay, so there was like Katyushkas, of course, after the Russian missiles. Christ. I don't know how it's going in Poland, in Cuba, but in Poland we have this thing that you cannot give a weird name to kid in Poland, in Polish. Like the name cannot be like offensive or being too weird, even like, so you cannot name a kid like XYZ13. So they're like, so the rest of the article is like, yeah, they smashed a lot of like Russian names into Spanish, and then you have those Unesis, Lazanibionis, Alanis, Dianabel, and this kind of stuff. I know names are important, people. Names are important. So better give a good one, because they also give you like the examples from other countries, and in the state of in Mexican state of Sonora, they banned 61 oddball names that had been found at least once in state registries. They included Facebook, Rambo, circumcision. Hey, it's a circumcision. Heads up, because you're gonna get cut. Lady D and Juan Calzone, or Juan Underpants. Juan Underpants will save your money. Recent months have seen articles from Cuba warning to need to regulate those names. So you don't have regulations. So just in case, right? And Yanice Garcia, I think that the lady at the beginning article, her husband's name is Raizel, a cross between Raimundo and Elena. But their kids have all traditional names. Hey, yo, people, if you don't want to make your kids' life harder, just give them the proper one, regular name. I'm not going to call it proper because every name is proper, but you can be less annoying, I would say. Okay. The second news are coming from again, as I mentioned, Associated Press. Okay, so Cuban labor minister resigns after her suggestion that beggars were pretending. So she basically said that there is no beggars. The only people who beg are pretenders. You know, there's some people doing cosplay. Hey, let me pretend I have no money. A Cuban minister who sparked criticism after saying that there is no beggars in Cuba, only people disguised as such. Resign on Tuesday. Yes, you should resign because you are stupid. They tell like, oh, she acknowledged she's stupid, so she resigned. So she made a comment before the deputies of National Assembly Committee. The comments were viral, prompting impeachment. Okay, so even the president, even Cuban president Miguel Diaz-Canel. Okay, so I don't think it's a brother of Fidel Castro. So president told like you are insensitive and blah blah blah. There is economic crisis and people like and people, of course, start begging and scavenging for food, which is terrible. And again, I wish you all the best. So we have people. We have seen people apparently beggars, but when you look at their hands, look at their clothes, those people are wearing. They are disguised as beggars. Yes, because you don't have money, but if you also care about your hygiene, for instance, it means you can find money somewhere, right? Probably in the soap. In Cuba, there are no beggars. Then why? Nah, come on, man. Just they are beggars like everywhere. Just maybe offer them help. She also added that people cleaning windshields use the money to drink alcohol. Yeah. So last out, again, the Fetu, her name is Fetu, also lashed out against those who search through the garbage dumps, saying they are recovering material to sell and pay tax. I don't know anything about this person, but she sounds like evil. Like she's evil as fuck. Like what's going on? So it's like who disguises himself as a beggar? It's not a good life. In general, it's not a good life. It doesn't matter. Is it Cuba? Is it Europe, Africa, Asia, North America, South America? Being a beggar sucks, all right? Do you think they think about paying tax? No, they're thinking about putting something in their belly. Until a few years ago, despite the poverty, there was no signs of begging or homelessness on the island, thanks to benefits, which now are reduced. The pension retires 2,000 pesos a month, roughly $5 on the informal market, and just under the cost of carton of eggs. Jesus Christ! It's no wonder you have so much sex tourists. Self-employed Enrique Guillen believes the minister is wrong. You believe the minister is wrong? I kind of know, right? I'm not in the politics at all, but I do know she's really wrong. There are elderly people who count on pension that doesn't exist. They cannot even buy a carton of eggs. This news is sad, right? This news is sad. I wanted to say something funny, but this news is sad. And also, this minister is an idiot. Is a she or is a he? I don't know, but they are idiots, and idiots are genderless.
And now is the time for news from Czechoslovakia. Czechoslovakia still doesn't exist.
All right, lovely people. Now is the time for the second part of the news. We spoke about the prime minister that didn't believe that beggars existed. And we also spoke about this, because what was the first news? Oh, funny names. Funny names. That's right. Someone was called Evgeny Garcia or something. uh, Again, the news is coming from Associated Press. Hemingway lookalikes visit Cuba and some of the late writer's favorite places. Isn't like a Hemingway lookalike just an old dude with a belly and a beard? Like, you don't have to be a Hemingway lookalike, you just have to be you. And as Hemingway has returned to Cuba, in a way, 18 bearded men who resembled the late US author arrived in Havana to visit some of his favorite places while he lived on the island decade ago. Ooh, I think that was a trip. The members of the Hemingway Lookalike Society on Saturday visited the author's favorite bar in Havana, El Flordita, where the music immediately picked up and tourists and locals gathered around to take photos. Take photos to see 18 old dudes in Cuba. You know, the island is probably beautiful, right? Like you can actually take photos of something that matters. So early they went to San Francisco de Paula municipality and Finca Vigad, a former home for Hemingway that is now a museum. There they played baseball with children. I know as if I would see 18 old dudes with a beard and a belly trying to play with children, I would rather call the police than a photo, and take a photo. That's the reason of our visit. The kids and their families, say Joe Maxey from Tennessee, who is one of the bearded men. The kids and their families, what the fuck are you talking about? You came here to get drunk and pick up on ladies, probably. The visit comes as Cuba and United States are the midst of tense relations. Washington maintains sanctions on the islands. Stop with the sanctions. There are people living there and they're not doing anything wrong. And nothing gonna change because apparently Donald Trump prepares to assume the presidency in January. Now, Obama lifted some restriction, but now they are shut down. And in general, they prohibit Americans from coming to Cuba, but they still come because alcohol is cheap, women are beautiful, and dollar to peso currency exchange is probably favorable. Uh, so they came on Friday. They made the ceremony, and they left. Uh, Not a weekend, I would say. Okay, and the last part of the news. Ingenuity at sea. Cubans use makeshift rafts known as corchos to catch elusive fish. Okay, so basically what they are doing, what I'm seeing on the picture is a guy carrying a styrofoam boat. I think that's dangerous. From a distance, they look like a tiny white dots floating the sea, but get closer, you will see people sitting on a polyform form rectangles. Polyform, that's right, not styrofoam. Uh, They are fishermen floating on makeshift rafts that have become common on the waters of coast of Havana, as Cubans find innovative ways to fish in a country where it's complicated, if not impossible, to buy a fishing boat. See, that's how people are genius, because if you throw an obstacle at them, they will find a solution. And the solution is, well, a polyform boat. That's right. They probably also go to Miami on those boats. uh, I know the situation is kind of tragic, but at least they make it work, right? As dawn breaks on the calm days, hundreds of the fishermen set sail in their unusual rafts known as corchos or corks along the coast surrounding the capital, including Koimar fishing village, immortalized by Ernest Hemingway. Oh, we spoke about him. Who was a passionate about fishing. Yes, he was an old dude with the beard. Of course, he's going to be passionate about fishing. The corchos, which are usually made of polyfoam sheets pressed by aluminium rods, are about 2 meters long and five and like around 1 meter and a half wide, creating enough space for a person to climb abroad on a fishing road. reels, peels, and hooks. Most use oars. I don't know what oars is. I'm not into fishing that much. But some fishermen has installed small engines to ease the physical effort of the sea. They might be not pretty, but they float, and the fishermen claim they don't sink regardless how strong the waves might be. It's in our blood, said Evgeny Garcia. Just kidding, said Miguel Gonzalez. 36, proudly holding an albacore tuna. We enjoy it whether it's fish or not. I know. If you make it work and it's safe fish, do it, man. Equipped with water and their 5 to 6 hour trips, the fishermen also rely on their ingenious jigs, handmade squid imitation or resin or of resin, and irrestrained paper to lure large fish, avoiding live bait. For the culture of fishermen who cannot afford to buy or build a boat, the makeshift rafts means food on the table. Hey, providing for the family, all good. By my side, man. If the catch is good, some fish they can sell it at the market for some extra income. Small boat in Cuba cost around $30,000. Oh fuck, that's expensive. And average monthly salary is like $25. Yeah. Despite the challenges, culturemen are deeply passionate about their work and have formed a close-knit community. We help and support one another. We all fish together here. If anything happens, one of us will in together. Nobody fishes alone. All right, that's helpful. There are some pictures. Those boats looks pretty unsafe, but if they make it work, all good for you. All good for you guys. All right, people. That was the news from Cuba. I hope you enjoyed it. My name is Martin K. This podcast is published every Sunday, and I hope you enjoyed it. Right. And if you have news from your country, there is an email in the description. All right, people. Take care.